All right, welcome to number 24, graphing systems of equations. So when we have two equations of lines, this is called a system of equations, okay? So to find the solution or the answer to a system of equations, we have to find the point that both lines have in common, all right? So today we're going to be looking at graphing, but there's also algebraic ways that you can figure this out. Also, we're going to be looking at how to check your answer. So how to make sure that your answer is correct. And we're actually going to start with exercise 1 in checking a solution that was given to us. So we have a system of equations. We just talked about system of equations means more than one. So in this case, 2. We're only going to work with 2 equations at a time in 8th grade math, but when you get into further math, you might look at even 3 equations at a time or 4 equations at a time. And what is the solution to that? But anyway, if you're thinking about back to previous lessons, when we've graphed lines on the same grid, think about sometimes they cross, right? And sometimes there's actually a nice even point where they cross. That's essentially what we're trying to find. So when they're asking for what is the solution or what is the answer to a system of equations, what they're looking for is where do those two lines cross, okay? So exercise 1 says, given these two lines, we have y equals 5x minus 3 and y equals negative 2x plus 18. Show that the point 312 is the solution. So what they're saying is, we've already graphed this. We found the solution. Now here's how you're going to check it. So I'm going to show you how that works. First thing we're going to do is we are going to substitute. So it says up here to find the solution, we need to find the points that have in common. Now, if it's in common, that means it works for each one algebraically. So what does that mean? It means when I substitute these points in, remember, this is an x value, the first one, and this is a y value. So I should be able to take this x value, put it in for x, take this y value, put it in for y, and the left side should equal the right side, okay? So what does that look like? Well, my first substitution here, I've got y, my y is 12, equals 5 times, parentheses pocket, my x is 3, and then minus 3, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify. So my whole left side is good. It's just going to be 12 the whole way. The right side, I got to simplify this and see if it ends up being 12. So an equal sign means both sides are the same, right? So I have to simplify this right side to make sure that it ends up being 12 because the left side is 12, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is this multiplication here because we're just going to follow order of operations. Multiplication happens before subtraction, okay? So, sorry, 5 times 3, okay, is 15. And then I still have my 3, okay? So last step here is the subtraction, and we know we're going to end up getting 12, okay? So what that means is that this point is on this line. If we get to this point and we have the left side equal the right side, then we've checked it. So I'm putting my check mark showing that it's correct. And what that means is this point is on this line somewhere. If we were going to graph this first line, the point 312 would be on there somewhere. Okay, so let's check it with the other one. Again, 12 equals, because that's where my y is. Now I'm rewriting the equation, but instead of x, I'm putting my parentheses pocket, putting a 3 inside. Okay, and I'm using my order of operations. So first thing here would be this multiplication. Again, the left side still 12, stays the same. Negative 2 times 3 would give me a negative 6. Okay, and then plus 18. That's when you might want to check in your calculator. Okay, but since signs are opposite, we subtract, take the sign of the bigger number. So 18 minus 6 should give me 12, and the bigger number is positive. So this one also works. Okay, and so what does that mean? It means that this point absolutely is a solution to the system of equations because it's on this line and it's also on this line. So if it's on both lines, if I graphed them, those lines would cross at that point because they both would have that point in common. Okay, so that's what a system of equations is. In the next videos, we're actually going to go ahead and graph lines and actually find the solution. And then we're going to use this method here that I just showed you to check our work, all right, to make sure that our graphing was correct, to make sure that we found the correct solution. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video.